How a VTuber's #1 harasser turned out to be her mother. I saw the title of this and I was like, this sounds absolutely insane. But there are some really horrible parents out there. I think I'm blessed to have really nice, normal parents. Even when I told them I was gonna start doing YouTube as like my main thing, and this was like just after I finished university, I graduate, get a degree. They say, what are you gonna do? I say, I'm gonna make Pokemon videos. And they said, all right, well, as long as you're okay, that's totally fine. I feel like I really lucked out. I have a very, very lucky, lovely family. Unfortunately, not everyone is as lucky. I guess we're gonna find out how unlucky this person is.
Very familiar with a simple concept. It's the idea that whenever something becomes successful or popular, it'll naturally attract negativity. And we don't really have to go that far to find an example, because it could be the cutest, most adorable little kitten imaginable. If it gains enough popularity, then it will naturally become hated.
You can imagine, say this is called like Kit Kat. You can imagine someone posting on Reddit after Kit Kat hits 1 billion subscribers, and they're like, anyone else think that Kit Kat is kind of lame and cringe? I don't know. Something about Kit Kat makes me throw up in my mouth and spit on my own eyelids whenever I see it because I'm so pissed off that I saw this adorable kitten. It just makes me so mad.
By some people. And throughout the years, as many others have discussed this topic, they refer to it as the price of success. But what if you attract haters as a tiny content creator, as someone who is not in society's eyes success?
This is so much worse. If you're like a small content creator and you have like some losers that absolutely despise you for one reason or another, could be for no reason actually. Some people are just insane. Having a chat with like 5 people in it and one person just comes in and makes accounts and just spam the most horrific stuff. That really ruins the vibe completely. Ruins the vibe.
Successful. What if you have a small audience and mind your own business and somehow you still manage to attract someone who hates your guts? Well, it's a real problem. You know, it's one thing to have 1,000 people love you and 100 hate you versus having 20 people in your chat and 1 person hating your guts. It's very demoralizing. And there's quite a few small...
Yeah, because if you've got like 100 people in a stream, say there's enough people typing where the messages just kind of get lost. But if you have a few people and the messages just sit there, they sit there for like 5 minutes, they sit there for like 10 minutes, you can't really ignore it. And the person typing it, they know you can see it because you're gonna look over to your chat eventually. And if it's not moving fast enough, then you're gonna see it. It's like a guarantee.
Or up-and-coming content creators who give up because of this. But of course, they do so assuming that the people hating on them are total strangers. People who they never met, people who they don't know. But what if your biggest hate watcher, the person trying to demoralize you the most, the person who will make accounts to hate on you in your chat, the person who will hire people to go and find you at conventions or events is your own mother?
What? Hire people to find you at events? That's psychotic. What is going on? I will say the people that just hate watch other people, I don't get it. Like, I can understand being curious about someone, you know, someone talks badly about someone, you're like, oh, I guess I'm gonna have a look at this YouTuber channel. Why are they so hated? I can understand that, but making separate accounts just to hate watch someone and post videos about how much you dislike this person is you need to go to therapy for that. That is a failure of parenting completely.
Yes, the woman who literally birthed you. The person who's supposed to love you unconditionally when no one else would. It sounds ridiculous, right? Almost unbelievable. But unfortunately, that's exactly what happened to the VTuber Wakarasu Choro. Her mother was such a hater that Choro decided to just straight up leave and go live by herself to avoid her, and just as people thought that she might have finally found peace, her mother of course took it to ridiculous levels, eventually forcing her to stop all VTuber activities because of her fear for her own safety.
What? Why? I can't imagine. I can imagine like, I don't know, it just makes sense to me that, you know, crazy stalkers are just like insane fans. I can't imagine like a member of your own family doing this to you.
You really, unfortunately, cannot make this shit up. And seeing how the story has started to resurface recently, I figured we had to talk about it. So let's do this. But first, a quick sponsor. After a long, exhausting day of being unemployed, there's no better feeling
after a long day of being stalked by your mother.
Relax. This is where the game Sword Axe Staff comes in, a relaxing idle game that combines in-depth RPG elements as well as the social element found in MMOs. You're thrown into this large world with multiple continents.
Longhaven, is it?
Story and varying accents. Because yes, the quests in this game are fully voiced.
Come on, adventurer. Let's dig around too.
And when
No
it comes
way,
to the
they put
combat,
voices
it's
in this
exactly
game?
what you would expect from an idle game. It's fun,
Holy!
dynamic, and can be tackled with friends with many different challenges. But my favorite part trying out the
Mujin,
game
I
was
don't have any friends.
customization.
I can't
You have
tackle it
so
with
many
my friends.
options, and this is what I ended up with. Does it look
That's a
familiar?
fish.
If you watch anime, it does. So if you're looking for a relaxing game that will manage to keep things exciting, make sure to check out Sword X Staff today. Link in the description and the pinned comment. All right, so first things first, this story had concluded back in May of 2025. However, on May 2nd, 2026, the account Anime Trends on Twitter would make a post talking about it as if it had happened recently, garnering hundreds of...
Is there a new update? Oh, I guess like people just, yeah, sometimes people post about like old things because, you know, there's certain audiences that won't track every single thing that happens in every single community, especially since I think this VTuber is like straight up Japanese, like not an English speaking VTuber whatsoever.
Thousands of views and a lot of engagement. 11 hours later, on that same day, a Facebook page would take that same image used by Anime Trends, add its own watermark over it, and kind of say the same thing.
Me when I steal. Me when I'm like, wow, this is a really nice article, which it would be a shame if something happened to it. Would be a shame if I took it.
In the description. By May 8th, this had also reached...
Is this actually a picture of the person? Or is this just like a recreation? It's like this is what she would look like if she ever revealed what she looked like. She suffered severe psychological damage. Her controlling mother monitored all her streams, sent anonymous hate messages, even sent people to investigate where she lived in order to ruin her independence. What? Listen, some people just shouldn't have kids, straight up. I'm a person that does not want to have kids. I just don't want to. But some people that do have kids, they should. I'm not saying there should be a kind of a test to see if you should have kids because that gets a little bit too much into eugenics territory. Don't like that. Not a fan of that one. But I don't know. How do we? I guess there's no way to stop like really terrible people from having children. And the thing about these really terrible people is once they have a child, they're like, this is my property. I own this. This is my thing. This is my little toy that I play with and I tell what to do because I can and I'm allowed to.
Reddit. So there's a good chance you might have heard of it already, but none of these posts really dive deep into exactly what happened. That's what this video is for. And so I'm sure you're wondering, who the hell is Wakarashi Choro, the person at the center of this incident? Well, she was a part of the Japanese VTuber agency by the name of Shinsogumi, an agency that my channel already has some history with. That's because as
Wait, what? What kind of history could you have with them?
I was scrolling through their list of talents, someone seemed very familiar. Someone that I had made a video on in the past, and it actually ended up being the only video on my channel that got age restricted.
What could they possibly have done that got the video age restricted?
And that is, of course, none other than the VTuber Tomeru Ikinone. She had used...
What do they do? VTuber group apologizes for using Splatoon 3 to stream what? What? Independent VTubers used chroma key to play pornographic videos through ink. Oh my god! That's insane. So what they would do is they go to Splatoon and they would like paint the map and then they would chroma key it out. It's like a green screen thing. So like if you paint the map green, you can like green out you can key out the green and then place something behind it. That's insane. I never knew this happened. That's absolutely ludicrous. Why would you do this though? This is absolutely stupid. If you stream, obviously you know you're gonna get banned if you do that. That doesn't make any sense. You might as well just close your own account.
the colors in the game's...
Hold on. Why would they do this? I don't understand. Violating a video stream and platform's regulations. Yeah, obviously. What a stupid idiot. It wasn't exactly an innocent stream. The VTubers were playing the turf war mode, filling the screen with ink, and then using chroma key to play pornographic videos through the ink. Why would you do that? That's so dumb.
3 as a green screen to stream adult videos live on YouTube. This was such a big deal at the time back in 2022 that...
No way. Nintendo tweeted about this? For information on the use of our copyrighted works, on network services such as YouTube, please refer to the guidelines. Please don't chroma key out the ink and play porn in the background. I'd felt like we wouldn't have to say this specifically, but please don't do this.
Even Nintendo had to make a statement about it, saying that they don't support any of these actions. This even forced her own agency to apologize, but when she apologized, she ended up wearing a dinosaur costume before her entire channel got suspended.
What? I don't understand what the goal is here. Like, okay, you make a little joke. You know, do I can't believe you play that on a stream. That's absolutely insane. And then your channel's gone. Like all that work for nothing. 100,000 subscribers just down the drain. That's not an easy thing to build.
And while yes, what she did was definitely crazy, it doesn't...
Do they still work with the VTuber group? I can't believe they didn't get kicked out after that, to be honest.
That all the talents here are crazy as well, all right? This VTuber agency works like any other agency. You have waves. So Tomeru was part of the first wave. There's also a second wave and a third wave. Wakarase Shoro had actually joined them in the beginning of 2023. Her debut date, the first time she ever streamed, was on the 21st of January 2023. Now look, by no means would she become the biggest VTuber on the planet, but throughout her tenure, she would build quite a loyal audience, and they seemed to enjoy her streams very much. She also would...
Yeah, I do find that VTubers, even the small VTubers, have like very dedicated fan bases. And VTubing is not really something that I can watch or I enjoy watching. I don't really understand it. I find it feels the same as like ASMR to me. Like, I know that a lot of people really, really like this, but I don't really get it myself. But you know what? Fair dues. I'm not gonna say it's bad. I'm not gonna, just because I don't personally understand something doesn't mean that it's a negative thing. More power to you. Enjoy it. It does feel like a lot of VTubers have like very, very passionate fan bases though.
Grow in a fairly healthy way. On the day of her debut, she would go from 0 to 1,000 subscribers. And by
that's a big start, honestly. 0 to 1,000, it took me like 2 years to get to 1,000 subscribers.
September of that same year, within 9 months, she would surpass 10,000 subscribers. Very healthy growth for someone who had just started. However, after reaching that very impressive milestone of 10,000 subscribers, her streams would all of a sudden become way more sporadic, way more inconsistent. She would take a lot of time off, then come back randomly, with no explanation, confusing her community that's so tight-knit, while also, of course, making them worry about her. The audience would be left in the dark until February 2024, when Shoro would decide to go live with a stream that didn't really match anything she's done before. Kind of like a PowerPoint presentation where she even put glasses on her model. In it, she would reveal for the first time the situation with her mother, about how much it was affecting her, and detailing the toxic dynamic that was present between them. The first PowerPoint slide of the stream would make it very clear what it was about. It would say, Wakarase Shoro's decision, the reason why I wasn't able to stream much since around November of last year, and the reason why I had been thinking about quitting as a VTuber, I will tell you everything. She'd say how bad she felt for not streaming for a while, for being so sporadic, and about how nervous she was going live with the stream. This is when she'd pull up the next PowerPoint slide, and it would say, reason, my mother's abnormal level of over-interference. Number 1, a mother who imposes her own ideals onto others. Number 2, she constantly interferes with my appearance and hobbies, saying things like, do it this way, or you won't be cute unless you do this. This was
What? Oh no, this feels like a fail mom kind of situation. You know those parents that they failed at doing something themselves, so when they have a kid, they have to like push everything that they want it to be on the child. No, it doesn't matter whether or not the child actually wants to do this or not. It's just that they couldn't do it. So like, you will do it. You will become me. It's like Palpatine. And then they take over the child's body, and that's how this usually works.
Everyday stuff, according to her. Number 3, if I didn't act the way she wanted, she would excessively insult and verbally abuse me and throw tantrums.
Oh yeah, just an absolute psycho mom. Throw tantrums? I'm sorry, is this an adult or not?
And number 4, even when I told her she was the source of my stress, my mother would justify herself, saying she was doing it for my sake, then go back to an infinite loop of number 2.
No, that's insane. That doesn't make any sense. I'm doing it for your sake. My sake. What do you think the end result of this is? Do you think the end result is, wow, mom, you're actually right. If I live exactly as you tell me to and just become like a plaything for you to do whatever you want, my life is so much better and improved now. Oh my God, I can't believe how wrong I was. They really think that's going to be the end solution or the end result here? Because I mean, I guess these people are genuinely insane. They have no grip on reality whatsoever.
Shoro would then explain this further, saying that her own mother would sometimes say snide comments like, you're a gamer, so you're a loser, and would really just comment and nitpick on the smallest things. Like even if she didn't do her makeup in the way that her mother approves, she would make a comment on that, saying things like, you're not cute at all. This is why you're a failure. This is why you're good for nothing. Even going as far as saying,
Jesus Christ, how depressed you would be if your parents, the person that's supposed to lift you up, the two people, okay, I say the two people, not everyone has two parents or even one parent, but the people that are supposed to support you the most in life, your parents, like they're the day ones, literally the day ones for you. They're supposed to back you up in whatever you want to do. Having those people talk to you like that, it's actually disgusting.
Why am I so unlucky? Referring to the fact that she's her daughter. Shoro would really emphasize here.
I know Japanese to the point where I can read the text on screen, but I can't translate it for shit. No, me too. It's like guys who just learn the hiragana and the katakana, and they're like, yeah, I can read Japanese. That says yoku something kanji etane. Don't ask me what it means, because I have no idea. Yeah, I know what this means. This kanji means jibun, which is the self. So my something. Don't ask me what this next bit is. I haven't got a clue. Look, this word down here that says stresu. That means stress. What does the next part mean? Hell if I know.
Saying that she had told her multiple times, Mom, you are the biggest source of my stress. Please stop.
Ah, see? It did say stress, like I said before previously.
But she had, throughout all this time, started to understand that her mom was never going to accept that because she doesn't think she's doing something wrong. She'd counter this by saying, no, that's not right. It's because you have no friends. That's probably what's stressing you out. It's probably because you're not even getting popular from streaming. Choro would then say, being told these things constantly at home was genuinely really stressful, you know?
Yeah, no, that would make me so sad. Hearing this in your house, the one place that you're supposed to feel safe at all times, your own home, and having this arse coming in saying all that, I can't imagine how sad that would be.
And I mean, I don't think it's hard to imagine, right? Some of you watching might have abusive parents, some of you might have amazing parents, but just picturing yourself in the shoes of someone where their own mother tells them, you're a failure, and why am I so unlucky to have you? Yeah, I think that would ruin just about anyone's mood. Then the final slide would show up in the stream. It would say, about being a VTuber. I want to really commit and work hard at being a VTuber this year, but since I've also started working a regular job, being 100% a VTuber is difficult. Of course, I'll still try my absolute hardest though. As for daily life, Shinsegumi, the agency, is supporting me in every way, so there's nothing to worry about at all. Also, even after physically distancing myself, my mother's persistent interference won't stop. So I want to do my best to resolve that side of things as quickly as possible. She would add on to this by saying just how grateful she is to the agency and thanking the founder and head of the agency a lot. How she wanted to keep going as a VTuber, even though her mother at the time would keep saying quit over and over. She'd of course thank her community for being there for her, for actually giving her compliments, for actually saying nice things as opposed to her mother. And then after some more talking to the chat, the stream would end. So here.
Damn, well, at least like the organization is trying their best to help. I mean, that's at least one good thing here.
Was the situation. Choro was dealing with a psychopath of a mother, someone who was making her life a living hell. During this tumultuous time, around the end of 2023 or so, she would reach her limit and would decide, you know what, she's my mother, sure, but she's making my life hell. It's time to distance myself from her.
Time to get that restraining order. Time to block them, get a restraining order. I guess she probably did, considering the fact that they were talking about hiring people to go and find her later on, which is absolutely insane. What kind of person do you even hire for that? Like a private investigator? What do you tell them? Like, my daughter's a streamer and I think she's putting her makeup on wrong. Could you please go follow her?
This is when she would take the big decision to move out. However, in order to live by herself and actually support herself, she had to take on a full-time job as well as continue VTubing. But here's the catch, and she mentioned this during the stream. Even though she had distanced herself physically from her mother, she had gone and lived by herself, wanting to forge a new path for herself, her mom was not leaving her alone. She kept trying to interfere and to continue making her life a living hell. Now, by this point, we genuinely had no idea how she was doing that. The only thing her fans were hoping—
We got the LeBron of harassing my own daughter here. Does she not do anything else? Is the mother just literally sit at home and is like, I've woken up, how can I be an absolute witch today? How can I be the worst human being alive today? What new methods can I come up with?
Hoping for was that she can figure things out. Unfortunately though, even when it came to the standard of what a crazy mother is, Choro's mom beat all and any expectations you would have of how far someone can take this. One could argue that leaving actually made Choro's life even more of a living hell, and eventually her mother's harassment would be simply too much to bear.
That's so sad.
Japan is a country in which murder doesn't just happen every single day. Well, at least for the ones that are actually reported. So much so that when a murder does actually happen, especially in a high-profile public manner, it gets reported on all over the world because it's such a big deal.
Yeah, Japan is a very, very safe city. I would probably say it's probably the safest country. It's probably the safest country that I've been to. I feel like it's a lot safer than the UK. I feel like it's a lot safer than America. You just feel, even in like the grimier parts of like Tokyo and stuff, you're like, yeah, I'm fine. Your stuff really won't get stolen. Pretty much, yeah, like you said in the video as well, like murders, it's not a very common thing. It does happen, obviously, like in any country. Things like that will happen. Crimes will occur. But it's definitely lesser compared to, you know, other countries that I've been to at least.
For example, you might have seen how on March 26, 2026, a female Pokemon store employee was the victim of a knife attack. But what was the motive? Was the man behind this
Yeah, that was like that was a stalker boyfriend that was like genuinely insane.
just someone who was thirsting for death? No. In fact, he was an ex-lover. They had broken up barely a year ago, and during that entire time, he was stalking her. Of course, she would complain to the police. Of course, she would try to do something about it, but nothing happens until it's too late.
This is like a problem in every country, I feel. Like the police, even the police in the UK are just like, oh, you're being stalked? Well, unless they do something, nothing you can do. Nothing you can do. I guess you just wait until they do something. I don't know. Can't preemptively arrest someone, which is really stupid. This needs to be sorted out.
In Japan and many other countries around the world, stalking can be done by anyone, regardless of gender and regardless of relationship. The same inefficiency goes for a mother trying to stalk their kid. And so even though Choro tried to find some sort of solution to make this stop, she was faced with a very unfortunate reality. And that's the fact that if she really wanted peace, she had to graduate and cease being a VTuber. This announcement would come all of a sudden, without anyone expecting it, on May 16th, 2025, almost a year.
Dude, I thought this was going to go in a different direction. I thought he was going to say if she really wanted peace, she'd have to kill her mother. I was like, whoa, that would be an insane left turn on the situation.
Year after that stream where she had explained to everyone her situation. The Shinsogumi official Twitter account would post, "We hereby report that our affiliated member, Wakarashi Choro, will be graduating from Shinsogumi as of May 31st, 2025. For details, please see below." Here's what it had to say. "Thank you very much for your continued support of Shinsogumi. Regret to inform you that Choro, a member of our team, will be graduating on May 31st, 2025. For detailed reasons regarding her graduation, please watch the live stream on the Choro YouTube channel today, May 16th, 2025 at 7 p.m. In summary, there was a major conflict between Choro and her family, and concerns about physical interference at events and filming locations gradually caused her emotional distress, making it difficult for her to continue her normal activities. The Shinsogumi team continued discussions with her to see if there was any way to continue her activities, but rather than forcing her to continue, we respected her mental state and wishes and accepted her request to graduate. The graduation livestream is scheduled to take place on May 23rd. They would then detail—
It's strange they call it graduation specifically. It has the same kind of vibes like when a pet dies. It's like, oh, they just went to a farm. It feels the same as that.
How everything on her socials is going to be privated as her graduation takes place. So as this notice mentioned, Choro would also at the same time tweet that she'd be having a stream at 7 p.m. on the same day. But before we get to that, I just want to point out how, even by Japanese graduation letter standards, this wasn't really seen before. Typically, these notices are kept very simple, very straightforward and professional. Hey, this person decided to leave because they found, I don't know, some other creative avenue they want to pursue. But saying that they're leaving because of physical interference by family who was stalking them at conventions and events is definitely next level. Her audience was shocked, but even Japanese bystanders seeing this on their feed on Twitter were also shocked. Wait, what? Physical interference by family? It was very unfortunate. This was someone who was really enjoying what they were doing. Many were rooting for her, and here we were. It seemed like she was defeated. So of course, many were looking forward to her stream to see what the hell happened. Now look, obviously by now, her entire channel's been privated, okay? The only thing still—
apart from like one old stream, I guess? Or is that the last stream?
there is the May 23rd graduation stream.
That sucks. Did they usually do that with VTubers? Is that like a common thing to just like private everything on the channel? Because that feels like I don't know, that feels kind of terrible. There's probably like so much good content that people would want to watch after the fact that is just like gone now. But or maybe it's just like a situation like this where, you know, there's the family interference, the crazy mother. Maybe it's just like a safety thing, I suppose.
However,
but private and everything feels bad. Like, what if someone wants to go back and watch the streams afterwards?
after this, she would conduct a members-only stream. And that's when she would get into the nitty-gritty, the shocking details about how far her mom was taking being a hate watcher. Now, the graduation stream—
Did the mum become a member to watch the member-only stream?
itself would be good vibes. It'd be wholesome. She would bring on the head of her agency, and she would bring on some other guests as well. Her community was also there to support her as much as they can. And as I said, this was a small community, but they were very passionate and they were very tight-knit. This can truly be seen here. Now, at the end, the vibes would turn more, I don't know, tragic, sad, I guess. She'd give a little bit of a speech, thanking everyone for being there for her, for being a source of positivity when she needed it the most, but would also really make sure to remind everyone that this was a positive graduation. She wasn't leaving for negative reasons. If anything, the agency wanted her to stay. It's just that she just so happened to have found a new path she wants to pursue in life. And
I didn't say that in the letter, though, did it?
That's it. She'd give a motivational speech to her fans, telling them that if there's something that's stopping you from pursuing what you want in life, do it, and don't be swayed by the negative opinions of others. Then she would end the graduation stream by saying, "You don't even have to say my name. Just remembering me every once in a while would mean the world to me. See you next time." One could confidently say that Choro, even though she's went through hell on earth and had taken this decision to separate from something that she really enjoyed doing and appreciated, still managed to end on a high note. And in order to do that, I mean, it takes guts. But what exactly happened that
that's an Ultra Sun and Moon battle
made her want
screen.
to pursue a new path? What exactly happened when it came to her family and her fear of it getting into the physical interference territory? Well, at some point during this period of graduation, she would go live on a membership-only stream where she would sing karaoke songs, but would also give more details as to what exactly happened and why she wanted to separate herself from the public life. Now look, her audience, especially her members, the people who actually paid money to be members on her YouTube channel, were already aware of her mother and how crazy she was. They just weren't expecting her to be this crazy. Because according to Choro, her mom would make accounts to type in her chat, and they would be hate messages, right? But seeing that she had to listen to her bicker and complain and insult her every single day, she knew exactly how she typed. She'd look to the chat panel and see her mom typing hate messages, and she'd think in her head, "Oh, this is my mom." Like,
So you could literally, when she was still living with her, she could probably go into the next room, just quickly get up, go into the next room, and then see her mom like hunched over her phone, like, "Nyeh." Like an evil demon,
ban her.
An evil little gremlin hunched over, typing hate messages in a
To which
chat.
her mom would just create another account. But that's not all, of course. Her mom would send people to try to find where she was living.
That's insane. What do you even do? Like, how do you do this? Is it just like friends that she knows? She's like, "I'll pay you money if you stalk my daughter."
Like private investigators or whatever. And
That's insane.
whenever there was a convention or event that Choro was going to go to, she would also somehow send someone there to try and find her and maybe follow her home. At the end
Follow her home?
of the day, this mental strain isn't something you can just live with and ignore. It was starting to make her fearful of going to events, of interacting with fans, of continuing this public-facing life. And so because of this surveillance state that her mom had built around her, she found no other solution than to just graduate and focus on her full-time job. It's genuinely tragic, and it sucks that she had to give up something that she genuinely enjoyed doing because her mom couldn't just get a life, I guess?
Yeah, her mom just like doesn't have a hobby or something. Why doesn't she try like growing flowers instead? Much more productive. Start like a little garden. You know, grow some cucumbers, make a salad.
My heart goes out to her. Look, overall, when I see stories like this, it makes me genuinely wonder, how many others are there that are in Choro's shoes?
What the hell? Look up the following incident. Her mother also did the same thing as the mother in the following incident. Oh, there's a different one, a different incident. She said, "Since I gave birth to my daughter, she's part of my body. She must obey my commands forever." What? That's insane.
But aren't public personalities. They're just regular people that have to deal with this mental strain every single day. This is when I came across a Japanese user's comment replying to the Anime Trends tweet about Choro. They would say, "Choro's mother did the same thing as the mother in the following incident. She said, 'Since I gave birth to my daughter, she is a part of my body, so she must obey my commands forever.' This is a tendency seen in some Japanese mothers." To which he would link the Shiga Medical University student mother murder case, Wikipedia.
That doesn't sound good.
This was a very infamous case that happened in Japan back in 2018, where a Japanese woman had an extremely controlling mother, similar to
I was gonna say, is it gonna be a kind of situation where the daughter ends up like hurting the mother or like killing the mother and then gets arrested, something like that? Because I was surprised. Honestly, I thought the story was gonna be something like, and then she lashed out against her and like hurt her or something like that. I defeated the monster. I can finally relax. Imagine being like the monster in your own child's life.
Someone that she's not, insulting her, berating her, trying to ruin her life. And so the daughter felt like the only way she could move on with her life and do what she actually wanted to do was to, well, erase the existence of her mother with a knife. Directly after doing so, she would go on Twitter on the 20th of January 2018 and would tweet out, "I defeated the monster. Now I can finally relax."
Damn. The fact that you could push your own child that far, it's really sad.
This case was so fascinating for many that it had become a book and subsequently became a manga.
Okay, okay. Based on a true story, what? A mother's curse, a daughter's prison, a docudrama about a daughter who killed her mother. Jesus
I can
Christ.
see why there's fascination about things like this. Because as I said in the intro, many people understand that with success comes hate, envy, jealousy, whatever you want to call it. You expect this from strangers, from people who've never met you or interacted with you, but you would never in a million years expect it from your mother. It's inconceivable for people who haven't experienced it, and it's still inconceivable for people who are experiencing it. And that's what Choro, unfortunately, had to go through. I truly wish her the best, and I hope that she's right now, at this very moment, living the life she's always wanted to live without anyone telling her otherwise.
Well, I hope they have the opportunity to like come back eventually. You know, if they can get like a restraining order, or they can be far enough away from that horrible parent, like maybe they'd have an opportunity to come back to it in the future.
Care out there, guys. And if you decide to have children one day, definitely don't make alt accounts to hate on them in the chat if they decide
don't be
to
an
become
absolute
streamers.
psycho.
Thank you so much for watching until the end.
Jesus
if you want to see
Christ.
exclusive content like videos where I
Let's have a look at the comments here. The fact that Churro's mom denies being her daughter's source of stress shows she lacks accountability and like any kind of sense. What do you mean? You can't like berate someone every single day and the person's like, hey, you're really stressing me out. And they're like, and you'd be like, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. You're stressed out because your makeup sucks and you're not funny. That's why you're stressed out. Maybe you should listen more to me, actually. Every child deserves a parent, but not every parent deserves a child. True. There's nothing you can really do about that, though. You can't stop certain people from having children. Who needs enemies when you have a mother like that? Why does my daughter hate me and doesn't visit me anymore? I can't figure it out. It doesn't make any sense. She must just be evil and brainwashed because she never calls me anymore. Literally unemployment final boss. Like, how are you so bored that's what you sit and do all day? So bored and so angry too. Like, what are you so angry about? That's what you do to release the energy, the negative energy that you've built up inside yourself. Anyway, that's really sad. Subscribe to Musion though if you'd like to see more videos like this in the future, and also use code Patterrz at Gamer Subs. Thanks.